Good afternoon everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name's Lee, your virtual airline pilot, and back with you again with the first of this week's reviews. I hope to do 3 this week, and this one is the first. So where are we? We're in southern Europe. We're in Spain, and this is Bilbao International Airport in Spain, Lima Echo Bravo Bravo. This is a payware scenery from beautiful model of the world, and this is the brand new version 5 for the PC version of Flight Sim 2020. The download is 584 meg and it installs at 1.72 gig. It's currently available from the InnyBuild store, and I'll give you their published prices. €12.87, which equates to roughly $13.94 US, or £11 UK. Now those prices are estimates taken from the UK pound, so the euro and the US dollar prices are published on the InnyBuild's page, but they're estimates and they do not include VAT or tax, which you will obviously need to add, which could vary depending on which country you're in when you make your purchase. In the UK the VAT is 20%, but it really shouldn't offer terribly much more of a huge leap in price. So as I said, currently available from the InnyBuild store, and I'll leave a link in the description below for you to go and see and have a look at it and find out more. So let's have a look at the key features of this new version. So the key features of this new scenery. We have handcrafted ground poly textures with crisp bespoke texture sets, and that includes runways, aprons, paths and roads. Accurately modelled and positioned dynamic airport lighting. Highly detailed models of all airport buildings, objects and surroundings. The level of detail, or LOD, optimization for every model to encourage the best performance possible, and use of the latest Microsoft SDK features to allow for best possible performance. Having had a quick look over this, well I might say a little bit more than a quick look over the scenery, I have to say it's wonderful. It's a big improvement on any previous release, and generally if you fly into Spain quite a lot, I mean it's only 2 hours away from the UK, you're going to love this place. There's a beautiful approach coming in from the north. So there you go, features. Let's start with some history. So, history. So, Bilbao Airport in northern Spain, Lima Echo Bravo Bravo, is a public use international airport owned and operated by Aena Company. This is a private company that runs many airports in Spain. The airport is located 5.6 miles or 9 kilometers north of the city of Bilbao in the municipality of Loiu, not sure I've said that right, in Biscay. It is the largest airport in the Basque Country and in northern Spain, with over 6 million passengers passing through the airport in 2023. It's famous for its new main terminal, opened in 2000 and designed by Santiago Calatrava. After various experiments in the province of Biscay, in October 1927, steps were taken by the Union of Public Works to establish an airport in Bilbao. A provincial board was created to study the possible location of the airport. However, it was not until 1936 that General Aeronautics Management authorised the installation of an airport in Sondica. But due to the site's many deficiencies, the airport was not considered of interest. Bilbao is surrounded by mountains and a flat valley with significant population to be found. Construction works commenced during the Civil War, but during this time and until June 1937, the airport was only used as a base for military activities. In 1938, the second stage of the airport's development began, and the council resumed procedures with the government to modify the primitive project directive of 1936, and the drafting of a new project was authorised and later approved. The construction works progressed slowly, and on the 19th of September 1948, the airport was at last opened to daytime traffic with the establishment of an air path to Madrid by Aviación y Comercio S.A. 2 years later, the new terminal opened and came into service. The new terminal has a sleek design with 2 symmetrical wings and a sharp tip at the centre, which is especially visible from approaching the terminal from the sides. This original design has granted the building the nickname of La Paloma, which translates as the Dove. White concrete and glass have been used, and the interiors are open and luminous spaces distributed in 2 floors, the upper one for departures, check-in counters and gates, and the lower one for arrivals. At this time, the airport had a taxiway, a passenger terminal, a control tower, a radio beacon and a direction finder, as well as police, post office, weather reporting facilities, health control, fuel and telephone services. In 1955, a taxiway was built to link the runway with the parking stands and terminal. An apron measuring 407 feet by 197 feet, or 124 metres by 60 metres, a hangar for the Royal Flying Club of Vizcaya, and other permanent facilities were also built. By 1965, an instrument landing system and a meteorological radio for storm detection were also installed. Some 22 airlines operate into and out of Bilbao, including Iberia, the state-owned carrier, EasyJet, Eurowings, Transavia and Air France. So like many airports in Europe, this place started out as for military use, and it took a long time to decide where to build it. But as you can see, it sits in a beautiful location, and behind us to the right you've got the marvellous approach over the sea. It's just wonderful. So there you go, that was some history. So let's look at runways now. So runways. Bilbao International Airport operates 2 main runways. Runway 1230 is the longest, measuring 8,530 feet or 2,600 metres. Runway 1028 measures 6,266 feet or 1,910 metres. Both runways are constructed from asphalt. The airport lies at an elevation of 136 feet or 41 metres and sits within the GMT UTC plus 1 hour time zone. Now, like much of Europe, Spain does indeed observe Daylight Saving Time, or DST, which has now ended for last year, and so the airport is currently just 1 hour ahead of the UK. So runway 12, and we're looking down the throat of it now, features high-intensity runway lighting, high-intensity airfield lighting system, touchdown zone lighting, and precision approach path indicators on both sides. And as you can see, we have the standard main approach lighting here, PAPIs on both sides. You can just see the touchdown zone lighting here, and there's the centre line as well, which isn't mentioned on the charts, but again, it really is not an issue for me. If it's there for you to use. So it's pretty much everything you need is here, and it pretty much matches the charts. So approaches available for this runway: you have a standard instrument landing system with Y and Z approach options, and you also have a VOR approach option as well for this runway. So let's have a look at the other end, runway 30. So here we are looking down the throat of runway 30, the other end, which again features high intensity runway lighting, high intensity airfield lighting system, this time version 2, centerline lighting, touchdown zone lighting, which is on the charts for this end of the runway, runway end identifier lighting system, and you have it here, and precision approach path indicators on the left side only. Again, this is all pretty much as per the charts. Notice the large extended threshold here, displaced threshold as well, and here also you can see we've got plenty of green centerline lights as well. Approach lighting system is as per the charts. So approach options available for this end of the runway: again, you have a standard instrument landing system with Y and Z approach options, encumbered with a localizer X and Y approach option, and again a VOR approach option at this end of the runway. So let's now go and have a look at runway 10. So here we are looking down the throat of runway 10, runway 10. And again, high intensity runway lighting, high intensity airfield lighting system, touchdown zone lighting, and precision approach path indicators on both sides. Now the only thing I can't see is touchdown zone lighting, which is listed on the chart, but not in the scenery. I'll just double check that. Yep, touchdown zone lighting is listed on runway 10 on the Navigraph charts, but it's not in the scenery. But again, not really an issue. You have the main approach lighting here, and everything you need to make a visual approach. There are no instrument landing options available on the charts, no published instrument approaches for this end of the runway. So let's have a look at the other end, runway 28. So here we are looking down the throat of runway 28. I've lowered the lighting a little bit more to get rid of the sun behind the mountains so you can see a little bit better. And I've also brought us this far back so you can see that the runway intersects with 1230. And you've got this large displaced threshold area here. There's the threshold of runway 28 and the other end in the distance. So runway 28, again high intensity runway lighting, runway end identifier lighting system, and precision approach path indicators on the left side, but no high intensity airfield lighting for this particular runway, and also no published instrument approaches again. So we're talking visual approaches probably for light aircraft should it be necessary. So your main runway is runway 1230, this one that's going to be used. And again in this image you can see here plenty of blue airfield edge lights, green centerline lights, lots of ground lighting at this time of the evening to allow you to find your way around. So that does it for runways. Let's have a look at jetways now. Okay, jetways. So here we are on stand 3 at BILBAO International Airport, and I've got the fly-by-wire A320 out for a change. We're parked on the stand. I've spawned straight onto the stand from the menu, and I've attached the tug to give the jetway as much free rein as possible. Before we start, quick look at the jetway in general. You can see it's really nicely modelled. They've even got the safety rope at the end here, the doorway, all really nicely modelled. Let's attach the jetway. So that's a nice fluid motion. The wheels turn at the bottom. Visually the model of the jetway is excellent. It's moving at pretty much the right speed. As you can see, they have different type of doors there. So it's lowering itself down to the aircraft. That looks to be a pretty good fit. Let's have a close-up look at the jetway. So firstly there you can see the stairwell that's enclosed and goes up to the side of the jetway. This is used by airline staff, the dispatcher and so on. And this is the first time I've seen it not actually go into the concrete, so that's really good. And looking there at the jetway, that seems to be a pretty good fit from the outside. Let's check the other side. And once again, that looks pretty good. Now let's go inside the jetway itself. So this is as far back as I could go inside the jetway enclosure. If I go back a little more, that happens. But as you can see from this image, that's a pretty good fit. There at the bottom, that's pretty close, and you can see also the door isn't impeded in any way. And we look at the top, and that's pretty much average for almost every jetway I've seen, including some in the real world. As I said, I worked at Heathrow and Gatwick, been down jetways many times, and quite a lot of them actually don't always completely cover the top of the aircraft. But what's important is both sides there are not entering the skin, and the doorway's not impeded. That's pretty impressive. And here we are inside the aircraft looking out towards the jetway. And as we saw at the beginning, there you can see the doors closed, and the doorway and the electrics box, all nicely modelled, including the safety strap. Okay, so let's disconnect the jetway now. Okay, the hood springs back. Now the jetway head goes all the way round to the right, which I think is a little unusual. Certainly potentially could infringe the wings, have to be careful. The wheels are going okay. Let's see if they actually turn back to face away from the terminal. I don't think they do. So there we are, the jetway is properly positioned and safely returned. But as you can see, the only thing that haven't returned to normal are the wheels. But again, I'm making no complaints. It's a beautifully modelled jetway. It works, it's pretty accurate. So for a custom jetway, it's brilliant. And as you can see, it's a pretty impressive jetway in terms of modelling. It's very nice indeed. So that does it for jetways here. Let's get down to this airport properly and have a really close look at it. So that was the JETWAY test for you, and as you can see, the JETWAY works fine and everything looks pretty impressive there. So now we're at the real business end of the airport itself. We're going to start with a little airside ramp tour so you can just get an idea of the atmosphere and the ambience of this airport. The modelling has been beautifully done, significant improvement over earlier versions. Here you can see drainage ditches either side, nicely modelled. The taxiway tarmac has also been nicely done. Some really nice signage here that's been properly portrayed as well. Blue airfield edge lights that you can see. So let's just take a little tour. As we head up towards the main area here, we'll go up and do an airside tour so you can have a look at the quality here. I think it's brilliant actually. Foliage looks really good. Got plenty of signage, taxiway signs. You've got that road there that goes to the other side of the trees. It goes all the way down. There you can see the fence line on the right side. There's some really stunning modelling here. So here's we come to the main ramp. You've got this mixture of the way the concrete looks here. Plenty of oil stains and signage. Some loads of clutter there, all of it relevant to this airport, I might add. Beautifully done. Some really good models, nothing too basic. It all looks really pretty impressive. And here we get towards the airport itself. The roads, the ramp, all of the right sort of clutter. And you can see partially inside the building as well. It's been beautifully done. It just looks great from here. There's the BILBAO sign on the side of the hill, which is a feature of this airport. Again, more airfield clutter, and again 3D modelled roads that just haven't been left to chance. They go right out, and as you can see, the taxiway goes all the way down, and the whole the way this just whole looks is brilliant. So now we go back and let's head towards the landside and look at some of the buildings and things along the way here. There you've got some fire tenders down there, or a fire tender, and some fuel pumps. All of this beautifully done. It really looks the part. A couple of Maersk trucks up there to the left. Little car park by this building. Very, very nicely done here. And the grass and the trees, really, really well done. So again, you've got entrance here to the road. Static cars, and again 3D modelled road all the way out here to the landside area. Some very nice signage as we go along and approaching landside at the terminal. It's really, really been nicely done here. So here's the entrance barriers to landside. There you've got an attendant there. So here you can see landside, we've got people, vehicles, some really quality signage as well, and if you look at the vehicles, they're also really good quality and very distinguishable. There's an animated lady on her phone, and this looks really good, you know. Yes, there are going to be lots of people that say, you know, why bother? I'm not really interested in this. And that's fine, I get that. You're entitled to have your opinion. But this is what Flight Simulator can give us to make the place look real. You're having a real good discussion down there. Some nice vehicles, lovely coach there. I don't think I've seen this before. We've got an open top car and young lady there chatting away on her phone. Really, really nice. So here's this landside tunnel. We just want to see if we can go through it or whether it's blocked off. Now that's interesting. It's open. So we go through the tunnel to what I believe is a car park. Ah, okay. We can't, so we're blocked. We're not allowed to. But actually we can go into the car park, I believe. Let's see. Yes, we can. So here's the upper level of the car park, and here's the lower level, and it looks pretty good. So here's a shot just looking back across landside. It's a pity we can't properly get into the car park or go through the tunnel, which is a real pity because they've got open tunnels here, but it's been modelled such that you get bounced out when you try to go through them, which is a real pity. So you don't see too many sceneries where they've done the tunnels properly, and to be thwarted at the entrance is a bit well, there you go. I'm just not really, it's a real pity, but there you go. But having said that, you can't argue with the quality here. It's great, it really is good. So I think it's great that you can see through those little tunnels, and I love that one. It's just a pity we can't go through it. So a little look landside on the lower level. Again, we've got our favourite coach there, and we have a couple of taxis or a couple of cars. Once again we're getting bounced out. Let's just go right down. Right, okay, so this, I think really this is my only little issue. The scenery, developer needs to address this. It's really pointless putting all this down here if you can't go up close and have a look. See, from here I can see the terminal and I can see internal development, but the moment I attempt to do this, this is what happens. So the developer needs to attend this. I think really they need to deal with these issues, but we'll come to that in the end. So we'll tour down here, see how far we can get. I mean, you can see it looks great, modelling's good. You've got the terminal on the left, you've got baggage trolleys parked up there. Lots of bits and pieces here. Again, the car models are pretty good. And once again, you've got these little subways that go into the car park. And out here you've got a bus and you've got a couple of people. So the meat and potatoes of this airport here in the terminal area, both airside and landside, is really nicely done, and I think everybody's well catered for. So crossing back over this side here, you've got some container trucks sitting there. And I just think it looks lovely, to be honest. So now we'll go down the airside road, have a closer look at this, and see whether or not we have the same bouncing problem. Hopefully we won't. Okay, you've got somebody on the ramp there. Should be wearing a high visibility vest. And there's another person there by the bus. But as you can see, it's all been really nicely modelled. It's a huge improvement over the previous version. You've got the odd engineer person standing there, and lots of variety in the types of vehicles you've got out here as well, and clutter to be found on the ramp. So we're just looking at this end here. There's the AENA vehicles you've got below, and here we're just looking at some of the clutter you've got here. Loads of stuff here, all nicely modelled. Everything from cargo bins, freight bins, to high lifts, and these coaches, Iberia coaches, very specific to this airport. So while we're here, let's not forget the freight facility here. You've got DHL and also the fuel farm over the fence here. I mean, some great cargo trucks. The facility is well modelled here. Don't know really what that car's doing going down there, but there you go. But yeah, you can see this has been really nicely done. So there's the DHL building, here's the fuel farm. Some good quality modelling. Wherever you look, the modelling is really good. Right down to the weathering. And there's that road that's landside that I mentioned that goes all the way out past the runway. Right, let's see if we can go inside the terminal. I'm not sure what is modelled and what isn't, but let's see whether we can. Because we can see people. Yes. So these are the gates, and you've got seating area here on the upper level. And close up look at the signage, you can see that it's still pretty clear. And here we are right close up, and you can still see that's pretty clear. That's impressive. So there's a long view along the airside corridor, and you can see really nice glass effects. It's midday outside, just after midday, so you can see the shielding the sun very nicely. That's really the right effect. So let's just do a quick airside tour so you can have a look at the activity, the gates, the layout. And again, here we are close up looking at a flight board, and everything is crystal clear. Nothing's blurred. It's really, really good. And we continue the tour. As you can see, plenty of activity. I mean, this is what you want. I love the clock there, by the way. Again, you've got different hoardings advertising. It's lovely. It's very, very good. It's very nice. And then you've got the ramp here that leads down to the gates. And you've even got people down here too. Here you've got the lower side, you can see what look like possibly closed shops there to the right. And there's a look at one of the entrances to the gate room. So here we are going to enter the arrivals hall. And once again, baggage carousels, not moving this time, or certainly not at this end, but again a beautifully designed hall that accurately reflects the way it looks in the real world. So we'll do a quick pass over this area. I don't know if there's any people here. But it looks good. And here we've got some baggage piled up, which is nice. So let's see if we can go through these doors and up the escalators and see what we've got inside here. Good, it looks like we can. So this takes you back up to airside. So let's go through here into the terminal if we can and have a look at the facilities here. I mean, look at this, beautifully modelled. I mean, this captures it well. You've got people, lots of things going on. Lots of check-in desks, can't see any check-in agents. Again, you've got people here, some static, some animated. It gives the place ambience. And we go to the duty free. As you get closer, this is how we look at the resolution here. So we're up pretty close, and they've got a facade in there, but the resolution is good enough to make it believable. Very nice indeed. But there's a really nice overview of the check-in area. Very, very impressive. So there we are. That was a daytime tour. Let's lower the lighting down to dusk and have a look at the lighting here. Okay, 7 PM local time. As you can see, the sun's disappeared. Sunset's really sort of coming on with us. And the lighting came on about 5 minutes ago. There's my aircraft parked on standout 14. So, blue airfield edge lights, centerline lights for taxiways. The lighting here doesn't look too bright from up here, but it probably might look better as we get closer to the stand. This is what I've often found when I do a high-level shot like this. So there are the taxiways and the lighting system, and you've got activity, of course. You've got other bits and pieces here on the other side of the runway. And there's the threshold of 30, and you can see you've got this holding area here, expanded holding area, leading onto the runway. So let's get a close-up look at the ramp. So we'll start by doing an airside tour here. Okay, no Asobo glows floating around. Let's have a look at the ramp lighting generally. And there you can see the terminal, the lighting's really good. Ramp lighting is pretty lackluster actually, but then there aren't any specific lights that you can see that light the stand per se. But generally at this time in the evening there's enough light for you to see what's going on. And here you can see people. I mean, this whole place looks beautiful. We've got the ends of the jetways lit as well. There you can see where we toured earlier on during the daylight hours. And this all looks very nice. There's the BILBAO sign. As we come around to landside, you've got a beautiful edge of the building there. And there's a great view of the airside part of the terminal. So a quick look landside on the roads. Nice to see the yellow jackets properly illuminated. That's quite interesting. So looking right and left, you've got beautiful lighting. Landside here by the roads and way on the big car park there to the left. Not an Asobo globe in sight, so kudos for that. It's really good. This is lovely. It really is. Very atmospheric. Once again, there's the tunnels. Here's this massive car park. Yeah, you can see evidence of solar panels as well. So as you can see, I mean, the lighting looks great at this time of the day. Let's cross back to airside. The terminal is beautifully modelled, no complaints about it at all. It really does look the business. So let's have a look at some taxiway signage. You get a sort of a better idea of what it's like when it comes to dusk. And I think once again they've done this beautiful situation where they model the lights in such a way that they reflect. I really like this type of lighting. it visually looks really good, especially when you come into land or you're taxiing out and you look out the cockpit window and this is the view you get. That's great. So just an example here of the signage here, that you've got these entry signs to runway 1230. No wigwags, but no, that's fine. But the whole lighting situation looks really good. It just looks great. It's really impressive. There in the distance you've got the threshold of runway 30, and again plenty of lighting, goes all the way down including the signage. It's excellent. So here's the fire station, complete with the tenders sitting outside. I believe that's the control tower there in the distance. Yes, it is, according to the chart it is. Let's go and have a look. So here we are looking from the outside. You've got one chap in there and some nice lighting, and it appears to be fully modelled. Let's see if we can go inside. And yes, we can. So there you go, fully modelled, complete with screens, seats, just one controller on duty. It's great. It's very, very nice. There's a view from the outside. The only thing that's missing is the red light on top of the tower here, which they should have. For structures over 300 feet are required to have red lights on an airport within the airport boundary. ICAO regulations, but there you go. But it looks good. So there you are, that was dusk. As you can see, the light is fading rapidly, and the light is beginning to come up on the ramp. So let's drop it down to nighttime now and see how much of an improvement the ramp lighting is. So 10 PM local time, as you can see the sun is pretty much gone now, and the ramp generally looks quite bright. It's not completely obvious where the light sources are coming from. You do have light stanchions around that are producing light in various places, and the terminal, it would appear, is producing quite a lot of light here too, as well as the under ramp lights. This is all natural light and it looks really good, to be honest. And then you've got various bits and pieces on the ramp here that are lit themselves. So let's get close up to the ramp and have a look at the lighting situation. So here's the southeastern end where we've got a lot of the clutter all lit up there. And again, natural lighting, nice to see some lights on the vehicles. And you've got this light going on this vehicle here. And again, all natural light, lovely moon in the background there. It looks perfectly acceptable. In the distance you've got the cargo facility there, again all lit up. We'll have a quick look at that in a minute. There we are looking out the taxiways going out towards runway 30. Again, lots of ambient lighting, all looks pretty good. And there, looking across the stands, you know, it's good that you've got plenty of light here. It's not seriously bright, but then that doesn't really matter. You've got underlighting here which is giving a bit of a glow. The terminal itself seems to be giving a huge glow. You've got lights up the top here too, and various areas here that are producing enough light for you to see this and park up perfectly acceptable. Very, very good. So a quick look at this end of the landside, which looks great, doesn't it? You can see in through this glass, got this lovely gold colour. Here the roads are lit nicely, landside looks good, signage, even the car park has light there. And you've got lights with these entry barriers too. So a very quick run landside just to look at the lighting here. It's fine, it looks very, very nice. And we come out here towards airside and you've got the BILBAO sign. And while we're here, just a nice look at this building here. The parallaxing there is really good. There's no internal development there, but it looks very good. Very nice indeed. And lastly, just a very quick look here over at the cargo area and the fuel farm. Again, lots of beautifully ambient lighting. Can't see any asobo globes. It all looks pretty good. So that was the night time. Let's bring the dawn up, and if I've sort of positioned this rightly, we should see the red glow from the sun behind us. So 8 minutes past 8 in the morning, and here you can see the sun producing this lovely glow on the side of the building and the vehicles. Got the moon sort of waning in the left hand side there. It looks really nice. And there you've got the sun coming up in the east behind the mountains there. Okay, 9 AM in the morning, and time to wrap up this review and give you my thoughts and conclusions. Do I like it? Yeah, I do. Huge improvement over what's been released before. They take advantage of many facilities that Flight Sim 2020 now produces. The whole thing has been really overhauled nicely. It's a very, very nice airport. You have everything you need for the pilot coming in and out of here airside. It looks really good, really does. So just a quick view from the flight deck for daytime. This is what you'll see when you park up on stand 4. It's really, really good. You know, you couldn't get a better, more realistic view. It's very impressive. View from the captain's side. This guy really should be wearing a high vis. And there's a nice view across the first officer's side. So yes, this is a really good airport. Lots and lots to like about it. Do I think it's worth the price? You know what? The price is excellent. You buy this, if you haven't got this, you're buying this as a brand new airport. And let me tell you right now, I bought this. I wasn't handed it for a review. I paid for this. £11 plus VAT. I think comes out just over £13, about £13 and 2 or 3 pence, something like that. But it's a small amount to pay for the work that's been done. The airport itself, airside and landside, has been beautifully modelled. The cargo area here, landside, has also been extensively done, and you've got these little bits and pieces here off airport, or on the extremities of the airport, that have also been done. The control tower has been modelled as well. Plenty of lighting on the taxiways. I like the way they use the green lights and the blue lights. Internally, it looks realistic with plenty of figures here and there. It looks great. Probably my only criticism is that I think that the developers need to revisit the tunnel bits and pieces. You'll have seen a number of things. We can't enter the car park here because you get bumped off on the roof, and we can't go through even though we can see through them, and they're really nice. It's great to see them modelled accurately in this scenery, but we can't go through them and explore through them. So if you wanted to drive around in a vehicle, for example, and you can, there are numerous vehicles available on flightsim.to for you to take a sort of a ground tour around this airport. Unfortunately, landside, you can't go through those tunnels. I mean, it's a great scenery, and they've taken the trouble to model the tunnels so that you can see through them. I mean, you don't see too many of those these days, but it would be nice to be able to go through them rather than getting bumped up. But as we've seen in the tour, there are several areas, certainly also landside of the terminal, that are affected by this bumping up, as well as the landside car park and the tunnels. If they could fix those little issues, and I'm sure they're just little anomalies that can be fixed, this would be a complete product. But anyway, for you pilots coming in and out of here, everything you need is there to make it look as real as it should be. You're going to have a lovely approach coming in over the port city here when you come into this runway. So yeah, I think it's a really good price when you consider the prices some of airports that don't have half of the detail that this one does. I mean, everything. Look at the flora around here has also been nicely modelled. The whole airport fits in beautifully. There's no it's all really seamless in so many ways. It's very, very impressive. So there you go, Bilbao International Airport in Spain, or in the Basque Country. Lima Echo Bravo Bravo. Highway scenery by beautiful model of the world. A new version 5 for the PC version of Flight Sim 2020. The download's 584 meg and it installs at 1.72 gig, and that's actually not a bad size when you consider the amount of modelling that's gone on here. It's currently available from the AnyBuild store, and you can get it for €12.87, which equates to roughly $13.94 US or £11 UK. Those prices are estimates taken from the UK pound, and they don't include tax or VAT, so you'll have to add that. But even with the addition of tax or VAT, I still think this is a really competitive price. It's not a steal, but it's not far off it. It's a very good price for a complete airport that's been modelled in so much detail and that fits in so well with the terrain. A short flight from London, it's under 2 hours from London, and you can get to it. Dozens of airlines operate in here, and you're going to have fun and enjoy this place. So there you go, folks, that's the end of the review of this first review for this week. Thank you for watching, thank you for joining. If you're a new viewer and you like what you see, please subscribe and like the video. It helps to promote it for me. And yeah, if it's what you want, then please subscribe. I bring out, or try to bring out, 2 videos a week at least, sometimes 3. I've got 3 scheduled for this week. I'm also currently on a world tour. We're in Central Africa at the moment, heading south, and I'll be releasing some videos of the places we're going into and out of there as well. So check out my channel and you'll find some of them available. So later this week we'll be looking at Aberdeen by Aura Scenery. Really quite surprised that that's not been done by Gary Summons at UK 2000, but anyway, that's just a thought. So we'll be looking at that in detail. And then after that we'll be looking at Chisinau, which is in Moldova. It's Moldova's main airport, and we'll have a look at that scenery that's been released as well. So thank you for joining me, folks, once again. Really appreciate your time. Check the description for links to the scenery, and also I'll put timestamps for those of you who want to go to certain parts of it and want to ignore other parts. But to those of you that enjoy my complete sceneries as complete scenery reviews, as it were, again, thank you very much for your support. So my name's Lee, your virtual airline pilot. Thanks very much, guys. I will see you in the second of this week's review. We'll be at Aberdeen, and we'll look at that a little bit later this week. So thanks again. You guys have a great week. Happy flying, stay safe, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye for now.